everybody. Welcome to Dandelion Cottage. Today is Paper Crafting Saturday. And I'm just checking to make sure that we're rolling here. Yes. Hi, I'm Leslie Watkins, and today I have a couple of really fun projects. Actually, it's the same design, 3 different ways. And what inspired me to do this project was the brand new Forever Fern stamp and die set that's coming up in the new catalog, which will be released on June 3rd. So I wanted to show you that, but I didn't want to torture you because I know that some of you may not have the new catalog yet and you can't order until then. So I wanted to show you how to use a retiring product to do essentially the same card. So I'll turn you down. Here is the Forever Fern. And I'm very excited about this set. I really love it. It's got a lot of ferny, leafy die shapes that come with it. It has a ton of stamps of all various nicely drawn fern designs. And it even has this little kind of a speckly background, which is nice to be able to add some texture. And this paper that you see, the designer series paper, is also part of the suite, and it features a brand new color, which is Just Jade, which is the color of the mat and the ribbon. So that's part of the new in colors that will be released soon. And the other thing I used are these beautiful gold metallic pearls, which I love. I have tons of, I always keep these on hand because I just think that they're so elegant and kind of understated. And I'm using a Whisper White card base. So that is the inspiration. And the set we're going to be using today is Tropical Chic, which is a wonderful set because it also features a lot of different leaves. But sadly, this set is retiring. So if you're interested in getting this set, you only have about another week or so to order it. But what I think is even more interesting than the stamp set are the dies that come with it. So here are the dies. And what you have are these outline dies that will cut out your stamp shapes, but then you also have these other dies that will actually cut out the leaf shapes, and that's what we're going to be using today. In addition to the leaf shapes, I'm also going to be using this, and this is a very interesting die because what this does is it's a cut out die. In other words, it doesn't actually cut through the square perimeter. It only cuts out these shapes, and I'll show you what I mean. So these are the things we're going to be using. I have a mint macaron 1/8 inch ribbon, and I'm pretty sure this is also retiring. This is the sheer linen ribbon. You'll have to double check me on that, but I think that's retiring. And I also have the Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon, and this is going to be in the new catalog. For adhesives, I've got glue dots and tear and tape. I've got a mini pizza box in white. Here's my white card base of the thick Whisper White. And I have a mat which is in Mossy Meadow, and this measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper, and this is from the retiring Garden Lane. Let me just double check that for you because there's a really good, yeah, so this is the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. And this paper, if it's still available, it's retiring, you can get this for, I think it's under $5 for the package, and that's a great deal. And it has all these beautiful green colors in it. Here are all my little leaf shapes that I've already cut out. So these are in soft sea foam, mint macaron. I've got pear pizzazz, old olive, and mossy meadow. So I've got an assortment of different colored leaf shapes. And then here's what I mean. Let me show it to you on here. So this is what that die cuts out. However, it doesn't cut it out with this scalloped edge. What I did was I put them together. So here's one of the Layering Squares scalloped square dies. And I ran them, and I'll demonstrate how I did that. I ran them together through the Big Shot in order to get this edge. If you don't have a die cutting machine, June 3rd we will have a new die cutting and embossing machine available. And not only is there the regular size, but there's also a mini one as well that you can take with you if you're going to a friend's house to crop, or if you just need to have something a little more portable. So let me show you a couple of variations. This is pear pizzazz on the mossy meadow background. This is the mint macaron on the soft seafoam background. And here is the mossy meadow on the pear pizzazz background. Okay, so there's a lot of good combinations that you can get out of just a few different colors. So let me show you how I cut out that die. Okay, so here's my paper. This is old olive. Here is the window die that comes from, it's not really a window, I'm not even sure what to call it, but this die set is called Tropical. And then here is my scallop square. So I'm just nestling them right together in one go, and I'm going to run that through the machine. And this is what we get. So if you think you might like to have this set, you're going to have to order it very soon. caught on here. There we go. And there will be a link that I'll post in a little while after the video that has all the different things that I've used today. So if you'd like to buy any of those things, please use that link and it'll take you to my online store and you'll be able to see what's available. Okay, so for the card, I'm going to be using this as my guide. And what I did was I took the ribbon and I cut out a piece that was slightly longer than my mat. And then I took a couple of glue dots, put them right on the ribbon. And then on the back side of my designer series paper, I just stuck down a little piece like that with the glue dot. Wrap this around the front, grab another glue dot, make sure that's straight and where I want it. And then just adhere that around. So you've got that ribbon running along the bottom portion of your card. Now I'm taking my liquid glue and I'm just going to adhere the DSP to my mat. This is Mossy Meadow. I'm not sure if I said that before or not. And give that a little burnish to make sure that the glue is nice and distributed. And then I'm going to do the same thing and put that on here. Okay, so there's my basic card. Let me get you zoomed in a little bit better. Come on. Okay. Now the next thing is I'm just going to begin to build the card with my wonderful leaves. So I'm just going to see how these things look. And I want them to have some dimension. So let me see where my dimensionals are. And I like to give my shapes a little bit of a curve. So just using the tip of the bone folder, I can get a little bit of an extra dimension to the shapes, the die cuts. And then by using a dimensional in the middle of the back, that'll help to keep that in that shape. I'm going to put that right down there. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly move along. I'm just going to grab some glue dots, put them on the back of my fronds. Okay, and I'm just kind of curling that up, and then I'm slipping them underneath these background ones, underneath the ribbon. And I want them to overlap the edge of the DSP, but not going over the edge of the card. Whoops. Be careful you don't pull off the edge of your leaf like I just did. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip that. There we go. There's going to be so many leaves on this that you're not going to notice a little piece missing. Now this dimensional might be a little too big. I'm just going to cut that in half. And I can tuck this partly under there. I don't think so. I think we'll do it like this. Half in and half out. There we go. And I'm going to take another one of these. So I think you're getting the idea here. So once you get as many leaves as you think you'd like, you're going to need a sentiment. So for this card, I've selected the sentiment from Very Versailles, Always Thinking of You, and I like this one because I really like the font and I like the size of it. So I'm looking for something longer and not too wide. I'll find a piece of scrap. Okay, so here's some Whisper White. And I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink. Stamp that up. And I'm going to use my little trimmer here put in this way. Okay. Square that up. And I'm I'm just going to fishtail the ends. There we go. And I think what I want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and sponge the edges of this. And I'm just taking my little sponge quarter, and I'm just gonna flick that just on the edges to take away some of that just cut look. There we go. Now using my bone folder, I'm going to give that a slight curl going this way, and then I'm going to curl up the ends the opposite way. So I get something that is kind of wavy like that. I'm going to apply a couple of dimensionals on the back in the middle, just like that. And then I'm going to take my glue dots and put them near the edges, like so, because I want that to have a little wavy dimension on it. All right, so here we are back at our card, and I'm just going to take that, and I'm just going to run that across the card like that. And now I will continue to add a few more leaves. And for this, I'm going to take some of these narrow ones along the edges. And finally, I'm going to take this one. This is the mint macaron. I'm going to put this one right in the center. Going this way. There we go. So now all that we have to do now is put some of these little gold pearl embellishments. And I'm just sort of thinking about 5 of them. And I'm just kind of scattering them around as if they were little dewdrops or something in the foliage. Okay, So you could adjust this as you like. And I think actually that I'm looking at it, I want to add a little more texture here to break that up a little bit. So I'm just going to snip off a piece of this, and we can use this other piece in a minute. I really do love these fine textures. Okay, and I'm just going to stick that there. So there is basically the same design, two different ways. Okay, so here is the Forever Fern set, which will be available on June 3rd. And here is the Tropical Chic, which is retiring. So you only have a few more days to get this. And I think it's a really versatile set, particularly the dyes I would use in a lot of different applications. So now I just want to show you one more thing quickly, what you can do with this same idea. So for our third project, I'm thinking of the mini pizza box. And I'm just, so here are some different backgrounds. Soft Sea Spray, Pear Pizzazz, Old Olive, Mossy Meadow. And then here are several different variations. And of course you could play with this as much as you like to see what you want to do. I'm going to use this one. So all I'm doing here is I'm just going to glue down my die cut, and I'm just being very careful to run a thin line of glue, and then I can just dot some of these leaves to hold them in place. Okay, that should be enough. I'm just blotting up any extra little glue that might seep out the sides. Alright, and now just the same idea, just building up some of these shapes. So I'm going to start with some of these more delicate frondy ones. And I'm going to let that go over the edge of the mat a tiny bit, hardly anything. So I have a couple of these. Now I'm going to take this big, I think this is a monstera, a philodendron monstera leaf. And again, I'm just going to take a narrow piece of dimensional for that one. There we go. I think you can see how nice the shadows fall around these leaves that are popped up. That's what we're looking for. I want the texture and detail on these dies is really amazing. And I think I'll add a little bit lighter one. And I'm putting the darker shapes behind the lighter shapes as they come forward. So that's not a strict rule, but I'd say more often than not. You see, so if I overlap the light over the dark, it just helps to give the effect of that dimension. And then finally, I think I want to pick up this mint macaron color. And then again, I want to break that up a little bit with some of this texture. Try this one. Make sure I get it on the right side. And I'm just kind of folding that glue dot over on itself. Here we go. All right, now what I'm going to do in this case is, this time I'm going to use the white ribbon. And if I measure against the box, let's do a little housekeeping here. It's better. So here's our mini pizza box, and I'm just going to fold on these score lines gently. These boxes have a slick surface on the inside. They're food safe, so if you want to make cookies or fudge or some other kind of treat and surprise somebody with it, these are pretty terrific. There's 8 to a package, and I like to keep a lot of them on hand because you never know when you're going to be inspired to surprise somebody. And so then on the front here, you just fold this over. That snaps into place. Tuck these in, and all these flaps go on the inside. And it makes this beautiful, sturdy little box that's ready to be decorated. So I'm going to take this white crinkle seam binding ribbon. I'm just going to measure a strip to make sure that I can tie the bow on the side. And I'm going to use my tear tape to hold that in place on the box. So I'm just going to put this tear tape right here on the lid. Remove the backing strip. And then I'm just going to get the center of my ribbon, something like that. Press that down. And now I can take my decoration I want this to go that way. Hold that in place for a minute for the glue to set. And now I can go back to my pearls. Uh-oh, I'm losing my pearls here. Now, you can also add a sentiment here on your box. I'm not sure yet if this is going to be a thank you or a birthday or whatever, but using the same technique as I did earlier with the little banner label and curling the sides, I think you'd have a really cute gift to give somebody. So that's all for today, folks. Here are our projects. There we go. All right, so the Forever Ferns, or Fern, this is the Tropical Chic, which is retiring with the dies, 8 tropical dies, 2 cards, and a mini pizza box. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me. Please go to Dandelion Cottage Design and subscribe to my newsletter. You'll be getting an announcement on the 1st of each month that lists all of my upcoming classes. There will be online watercolor, painting with ink, and paper crafting classes coming right up in June, so you want to get on there soon so you don't miss that. Registration finishes on the 8th, so you don't have a lot of time, and that just enables me enough time to be able to put the kits together and the videos and get everything set up for you. So have a wonderful day, stay creative, stay well, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.